Well, he knows both sides of this microphone here at CJAD, a longtime host at CJAD, and now he's over at the City of Montreal. Leslie Roberts, Associate Councillor on the Executive Committee, responsible for speaking to Anglos and universities in the downtown core. He's on the line. Leslie, welcome back.
Thanks, Elias. Good to be here.
Let's start off with the low-hanging fruit, as they call it, potholes.
Go for it.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
now this guy, this hero, as I called him on the show this week, Sad Teku, who goes to TikTok and he posts video and he does a good job. He gets the right equipment, seemingly, and he says, you know what, the roads suck. I'm going to fill the potholes. Seems like the message from the city, and, Soraya Martinez-Ferrada even commented on the video, was, thanks, but no thanks. Leave it to the professionals. But I think for a lot of listeners, they're just fed up. So let's talk about this. Was this an embarrassment to see someone go to TikTok to fill the potholes?
First and foremost, we're all fed up. It's, whether you're an elected official or not, it's a problem in Montreal. It has been for a long time, as we know. It seems to be a rite of passage every winter. But that being said, it's worse this year. Are we embarrassed? No. In fact, the mayor obviously just weeks ago said, "Hey, rebuilding the city when it comes to things like this is, requires a partnership." She was talking specifically about picking up your garbage when you drop it, when that kind of thing. Responsibility, pride of ownership. If you are the owner of a shop, to help get things done. I think there was apathy for years because people said no matter what little I do, this city's going to remain dirty. That's not the case anymore. Specifically about this man, first and foremost, good on him for his passion and so on. But there are obviously legalities involved here. So it's as much to protect him as it is to protect the city. That is, I don't know if he does, and I've never met this man. Does he have the credentials? Does he know what he is doing? Is he preparing it correctly? There could be consequences if he doesn't do it the way in which the protocol dictates. That's the bottom line.
I just, and I'm not rolling my eyes at you, okay? But, I that it's funny because we're talking about there's a gaping hole and people are losing tires and hubcaps or worse. I spoke to a guy
the mayor included, that.
That's right. And we're like, oh, well, you know what the danger is? Someone trying to fill it. And I'm like, no, the danger is the hole. Right. So I have to laugh at the whole notion of legal liability. And does he have the, and I get it.
But they both can be true at the same time, right?
Yeah. I get it. If it was actually possible that this would turn into tens of thousands of Montrealers, running to their cupboards, taking out rice and just doing crazy things. But we're talking about one guy that actually bought the right equipment. And that's where I go, okay, you know what? I don't want to talk about legal liability. I want to talk about what you're going to do so that these guys don't have to go out there and post videos.
So, I agree. Look, I'd rather spend the time and energy and airtime on talking about what needs to be done. And we're in the process. We've filled, as the number goes out there, 14,000 plus potholes so far. Again, I'm going to repeat, it's the worst year in my memory. I used to cover it back in the day every winter when I was at Pulse News. So they're basically part of Montreal. Why this year? The weather is one factor. Number two, when our administration took over in November, and not until pothole season arrived, did we know that the machinery to fill these potholes, half of them weren't working. Yeah. We immediately went into action. We put out the call for, respected in terms of protocol subcontractors to do the job. We added extra, as much as we could, through superpowers of the mayor, money to get this job done because it was required. And more importantly, we've ordered, new machinery to get it fixed. The problem is they haven't arrived yet. So we're doing what we can.
Well, I know the guy that has a piece of equipment, like Sad Teku. You guys can't get the equipment. He had equipment, so
he doesn't have the official. No. Don't get me wrong. You're right. He can do it. But if we gave every crew one of those, we would never get the job done. You need equipment that is much more efficient,
faster.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So again, good on him. But I don't think necessarily that it makes sense to be saying we should get out there and do this ourselves. First and foremost, we have a responsibility to taxpayers to get the job done. So that's all right.
So this leads me perfectly to our next subject here. Under the category of should the citizens be doing this themselves, it seems like when it comes to cleanliness, seems like the messaging from the city is, hey, residents, hey, business owners, forget about liability. Get your brooms out and start cleaning the streets.
Elias, if you go to Greece, for example, the country you know well, when you walk through, you get up in the morning, you go down for your Greek coffee, the shop owners are out there. They're spraying. It's a cultural thing. It's the same when I lived in Mexico. I mean, it's part of it. I think, and it goes back to my point, I think there are a lot of people who are apathetic because they were like, why, my little bit won't make a difference. What the mayor is saying, it will. Whether it's picking up after your dog, which obviously we now have made it part of our routine. Back in the day, we didn't. It's the same sort of thing. Do your part. And I think there was a survey, actually. It was the question of the day at La Presse yesterday. 96% of the people, of the almost 8,000 people who voted, said, yes, absolutely. Residents and store owners do have a role to play in maintaining the cleanliness. So that goes back to what Soraya, with the sign she did over her head outside City Hall saying, please pick up after yourselves. We're not saying do the job. Just do your part with what you contribute or have contributed, and not, put in the waste basket or whatever in front of your shop.
So do you feel it should just be moral suasion, mayor saying, hey, everyone, let's keep our city clean together, or should it go beyond that?
You want fines? You want tickets?
I'm wondering if it should be by law. The sidewalk in front of your home, you need to clean it. The sidewalk in front of your business, you need to clean it. Why not?
We're not there yet. Look, the old expression, it takes a village. Well, the village needs to come together. I think you do it, you do it with the carrot, not the stick. You do it with pride of ownership, pride of the city. We're working hard, as you know, to make downtown clean. I can speak to that. It's my responsibility on executive committee. We're working hard. We sent out crews earlier. We increased the numbers. The garbage situation is finally under control. Don't get me wrong. There's still garbage days where it sits out there, but you're not seeing it strewn across the city. And you're seeing the cleanliness squads that are out there as well on the ground. I don't think we're at a point where you start issuing tickets because, to be honest with you, it's part of our responsibility.
I know, but I asked.
Call out there. It's a call to action. For
you brought up you brought up the poll, so this is why I asked, because remember the question asked by La Presse. This is why it's so fascinating. The question asked by La Presse was, in other parts of Canada and the U.S., cities make it mandatory to clean your segment of the sidewalk. Should we do the same thing? Mandatory, obligatory. And it was 96% that said yes. So it seems like, people would be okay with fines and coercive measures to make people clean up their streets.
Let's start with asking for help and see what happens. Right. Honestly, I mean, we don't need more legislation. We don't need more fines. We don't need more ticketing. You know what I mean?
Okay, so for those of you...
I say this as a Montrealer who's had my share of parking tickets.
If you are keeping score at home, vigilante pothole repair, not allowed. Vigilante sidewalk cleaning, allowed.
Oh, come on. That's not a great analogy.
All right. Hey, you know the radio game.
When I hosted that show, I would have done the same.
All right. Listen, Leslie, I'll leave you with a note from a listener, okay? Listen, low-hanging fruit, it's radio, you know the job. But here's Monica, who says, I scrapped 2 tires on one pothole on Friday, another one on Monday. I'm now dreading going into the city. Monica lives in Laval. Okay, Leslie, you're great. I always appreciate you take the licks and you come back, and I appreciate that. You have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Elias.
Leslie Roberts, Associate Councillor on the Executive Committee. He's responsible for the Downtown Core.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.